Hello Leo, my sweet pussycats, how are you? Welcome to your weekly reading. So this week we're going to do now, your energy now, and your energy in the future. And we're keeping it pretty simple. I'm just using my Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Oracle deck, and then I'm using the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Tarot deck. And then at the end you get a Moonology card. So let's see, Leo, the sweetest of the pussycats. Oh, my little Robin, he actually came up on the balcony. Usually he hangs out in the tree. Little Robin came right in there. All right, now and your future. Now and your future. Now and your future for Leo. Now, the turtle. Okay, that's good. Deep in the future. Oh, jeez. And the whale. Who else did this? I think it was Taurus. They had like different cards, but it's kind of the same message. It's being in a certain state of energy or emotion, and then kind of still being in that, but a little bit different. So it's interesting. They did like the raccoon and the swans, which is self-reflective, and the raccoon is like the hermit. So you guys are the turtle and the whale. Okay, so let's see what comes out. Let's get quiet. Let's see the intuition come in. The turtle. So this, I find this little turtle guy, for me, it's kind of like being really deep. Really being deep in the water, and it's the alchemical symbol for water here. So it's really emotions and feelings, like really being deep in your emotions and feelings, and kind of coming up to the surface, which is neat because the whale, right, is a little bit closer to the surface. It's not as dark. He's come up, he's closer to the light. The whale is closer to the light as opposed to down here, which is the area that it feels like the turtle has come from. And they're both water, so they're both about feelings and emotions here. Boy, it feels like a lot of self-reflection about where you've come from in this deeper area of your emotions, though, once you get to the future. Because the whale is looking at the turtle. So in your future, you're going to, it seems, when the cards are telling me, I hate it when it starts to sound like, kind of like, so this is it. In your future, you're going to feel like this, and this is what's going to happen. It's just an interpretation, right? So I don't need to tell you how you're going to feel, you know. What the cards are telling me, you're going to kind of come out of this deeper area. If you felt like you're in a, I don't want to say dark, like dark and gloomy and depressive, maybe for someone out there, but for the most of you, it doesn't really feel like I'm getting that kind of energy. It feels a little bit more like really looking at the deeper aspects of yourself. Like it's good exploration, you know. Like, and when I say that, I kind of mean, you know, like maybe reflecting on, you know, past instances in life, relationships, and those like relationships that you've had with family members, friends, colleagues, lovers, like the whole gamut, and just kind of reflecting on that, and, you know, what were the better parts of those relationships and situations, and what weren't so good, and just, you know, trying to figure things out. It kind of feels like that energy. It doesn't feel like, you know, being really depressed. Even if it is for you, I don't want to discount that feeling, because there's always a reason to be in that. And as long as it's not like a medical condition or it's continuous, you know, you can usually work your way through that, and it's part of a process to something else. Obviously, if it is a medical condition and you've been in there for years, then you should, I would think, seek some professional help, right? Because depression can lead to demise. So, but when depression is there, just for us, because we might be transitioning from something, we might be going through a loss, it's important to work through those feelings and emotions so that we can recover from them, right? Like release them. And that's what I'm getting here. So whatever this dark, deep emotional energy is that you're in right now, and as I said, I don't feel like it's depression for most of you. It just feels like looking in, a little bit reminiscent. I'm getting kind of a reminiscent energy, like reminiscing about things from your past. Maybe, you know, with cousins that you used to play with as a kid, or grandparents, or like, it's just like that kind of nostalgia. But sort of recognizing maybe how, you know, in doing that process, starting to identify and recognize, you know, how maybe that has programmed you to act certain ways or believe certain things in life up to this point. And now you're maybe challenging that a bit in yourself. You're kind of challenging that a little bit for yourself. So in the future, with the whale, it's kind of reminiscent as well, but I want to say, like, coming up to the surface and feeling good and feeling like you can recognize how you've, you know, how you've ended up where you are in life, wherever that is. And it does feel like it's connected to what this reminiscing energy is that you might be in now. And once you come up to the surface, there is this kind of happier feeling, because you did work through that, and you discovered self through that process, and you're kind of looking back. And you know why I feel like you're looking back? Because I think through that process with the turtle, when you were in this energy, this was a different person. So you're going to be a different person. Well, very different, much bigger. Maybe not too big, right? There's a big difference in the size between a turtle and a great blue whale. Like you're evolving. It's a little bit like being in the chrysalis or the cocoon. And through that transformation, there is self-reflection going on, reminiscing, and realizing that you have rebirthed into someone else. And you kind of look back on who you were here. Like in the future, you're going to kind of look back on who you were. You know, I'm kind of getting the message too, like some of you may already be in this whale and you're in this process, and that's why this is coming up as kind of now. You're in the process of looking back on who you were and how you worked through things, and recognizing, wow, this is who I am now, and this is why. Because I recognized these things in myself and on my journey, and I worked through it, and now I'm here. So I feel like it's a little bit like reflecting back on where you've been, and also acknowledging like the work that you've done on yourself, the work that you've done for yourself. Because it seems, I always get this feeling, I feel like this little turtle is really trying to go quickly to the surface, and it's not happening. Not really, you know, they're not a bad little swimmer, but not too fast. Like having gone really deep and then kind of running out of breath and realizing, oh, I need to go to the surface. And then as you start going to the surface, realizing you're so deep, it's going to be like close that you don't inhale some water coming up. So it's a struggle. Like this little turtle is a process. That's a struggle. This is not. So you're still in deep, like a deep reflective energy, but it's an enlightened energy in the future. And I'm going to show you. The bottom is the hummingbird. So there's the enlightenment, right? Like really being the light in your own life, really lighting your path. All right, so let's pull out some tarot cards. We'll try to get one card for the now and the future. One card for the turtle, one for the whale. Oh, this is so crazy. This is the same. This is weird. Leo, so this is one of those things that's happening here. Like your reading is really, it's mirroring the Taurus reading. These two are different, but it's a little bit like the same story. And this clarifier is exactly the one that Taurus had. So if you're connected, or maybe you have a moon in Taurus or something else, that reading, there might be information there for you too, or you're rising or something. But the devil. Okay, I haven't finished shuffling because we're going to have the whale, but this is really interesting. Everything we were talking about in the devil energy is there. Right? Like it's freeing yourself from that. Freeing yourself from past programming and understanding how that programming happened. And, you know, sort of realizing that there's really no one is to blame for the programming. Because even if you were learning to behave or react or have a belief system based on certain parameters, and that was developed through relatives or friends or whoever, I mean, they were only going on what they knew as well. So you've done a process here that's released you from that. You know, this is reflecting a little bit too. Your message is a little bit different from Taurus. And then this turtle was also in the Oakman reading, and I'm getting a bit of that reading in here for you that was on Friday, the latest Oakman one from last Friday. Working through that. Because it is a sort of, I'm getting that ancestral energy. I mean, these ancestors may still be alive right now, today. Some of them may have passed on. But, you know, and if they're older relatives too, we really, we may have heard stories from them of what life was like when they were young, but we never lived their lives. So we don't know as well what they've transmuted. Right? Like what things were like when they were young and what they were raised around and what they were taught was right or wrong or how things should be and how they changed that. And then you come into, you know, their lives at this change, but now you have another perspective to change. It's like an evolutionary process and you're doing it, like you're kind of continuing it here. So let's see the whale. The whale. The whale for the future. The whale for the future. The whale for the future. That's interesting. The Seven of Swords and the Two of Pentacles. I kind of feel like some of this future energy of the whale is, you know, we're looking back at where you were, and this is a little bit like hermit energy, like in the now is a little bit like hermit with this turtle and going deep into reflection. You know, in the future, there may be little triggers that make you almost kind of want to go back here. And that's part of why the whale is looking here with the Seven of Swords. I feel a little bit like that. Like wanting to go back. Because if you've been, like, let's say you've been self-isolating. Well, self-isolating is really, I mean, that's for people that are at high risk and may have been exposed or traveled or something, right? So you stick those 14 days in. But this is more like the social distancing idea. If you've been spending a lot of time at home and you've been doing this while at home and you start going out again, there's something here like putting yourself out there. And you are ready, you've done the work, but there's a little bit of you that kind of wants to go back a bit. And it's not really necessarily to continue doing this self-assessment work. It's just because you were there. I want to say you were there long enough that it became a habit. And so be careful with the devil card here too. Because what is it? It takes 21 days or something like that to create a new habit, where once you've started doing something, you've done it, I think, for 21 days, 20 or 21, 22, something like that. Then you've reprogrammed yourself, so you don't even think about it and you just do it. So this almost, it's this desire to almost go back into this state, only because it became a habit. Like it's not necessarily where you want to go, because there is something coming towards you here with this Two of Pentacles. Some sort of a choice in your rebirth. Balancing two aspects of life here and maybe feeling like, oh, this feels a little overwhelming. Maybe I should go back into this little hermit mode energy. So I want to see what sits between the now and the future, though. If that gives us any indication, specifically with the Seven of Swords. There's something that you're going to need to balance here, or feel that you need to balance in your life. Two different elements. What sits between the turtle and the whale? They feel like they're sticking. What sits between the turtle and the whale? What sits between the turtle and the whale? What sits between the turtle and the whale? I don't know. That one, I'm going to call it a secondary. This one, oh, there's two here. The Four of Swords and the Hermit. The Four of Swords is all about resting and recovering and healing. And the Hermit is all about what we just talked about. Because I feel like you kind of feel like I've done all this. I don't. And you know what? Okay, this is what it feels like. I think you've healed things that have been hurt here. Okay? Because with this Four of Swords, anything that was hurting or painful, I think you've healed it. And so you go back out and there's choices to be made. Maybe there's opportunities presented to you. But there's a little bit of a fear here, wanting to go back into, no, maybe I'll just stay inside. And I think the basis of that is not wanting to get hurt, because you've healed and you don't want to get hurt again. That's what I'm getting here. What is this one? Oh, the Five of Cups, see? Yeah, interesting set that's sitting between the now and your future. So in the future, like, you're ready. I'm seeing that you're ready with the whale. Maybe you still want to look at things on a very deeper perspective, being the whale. But, you know, I think that's up to you if you feel that you can continue to do that when you're out in the world. Or back out into whatever it is. This is very introspective energy. With the Devil, the Turtle, the Four of Swords, and the Hermit, and then the Five of Cups. So there's been disappointment here, missed opportunities, you know, like, and just figuring things out for yourself. Like, if something didn't work out, like we could say with this Five of Cups, you're trying to figure that out. Like, why didn't that work out? And I'll say, what was your part in it? What was my part in it? Like, trying to recognize that so that you can have more control over your life and it can be more successful. So recognizing that. And the Four of Swords is definitely healing. Healing in the Hermit. Trying to find your own light. Light your own way. Now I'm really curious about this. Okay. I'm not... I always break my own rules first. Okay, so I'm going to go to my teeny tiny tarot deck. I've gone this far. I've gone halfway through the zodiac without doing it. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep it. Yeah, there's something here. There's something about this Two of Pentacles that kind of makes you want to hide. And I think the hiding is afraid of being hurt somehow, is what I'm getting. Because you've healed, but you're looking back at like, oh my God, maybe I need to go back and do some more healing. I don't want to. I just want to stay in the doctor's office. I don't want to... What is nothing is shuffling? What the heck? My cards are giving me troubles. I don't know what it is. Like the last 24 hours, all my decks have been very difficult. Maybe it's a humidity change. I'm not sure. There's air conditioning in the house, right? You would think it was... Anyways. So, Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles... The Two of Pentacles. Oh my God, just so much. See, I knew I should have. My goodness, my goodness. Okay, well there you are twice. The Queen of Wands, the Strength card, the Nine of Cups, and the Magician for this Two of Pentacles. There you are twice with the Queen of Wands and the Strength card. The Nine of Cups and the Magician for this Two of Pentacles. There you are twice with the Queen of Wands and the Strength card. There you are twice with the Queen of Wands and the Strength card. There you are twice with the Queen of Wands and the Strength card. There you are twice with the Queen of Wands and the Strength card. There you are twice with the Queen of Wands and the Strength card. There you are twice with the Queen of Wands and the Strength card. There you are twice with the Queen of Wands and the Strength card. There you are twice with the Queen of Wands and the Strength card. There you are twice with the Queen of Wands and the Strength card. There you are twice with the Queen of Wands and the Strength card. There you are twice with the Queen of Wands and the Strength card. There you are twice with the Queen of Wands and the Strength card. There you are twice with the Queen of Wands and the Strength card. There you are twice with the Queen of Yeah, because I think you're moving forward and you're feeling very confident in yourself. You're feeling very happy. You know, it's almost as if not sure how to, this manifestation, something that you're manifesting or, okay, I'm getting the message that you were manifesting something in the past. You were working on some sort of manifestation in the past, and you may have sort of released that. And then that was part of this process here of learning to let go too, right? Learning to let go, release things to the universe. Because this Magician is coming through here at the end of the Nine of Cups. So you've gone into an energy here that is very strong in manifestation ability. Like to create things positive for yourself and to move yourself towards things and for those things to come towards you with the Magician. And I'm getting the message with this Two of Pentacles that now you're not sure if you're ready for it because you've gone through this healing and you don't want to get hurt. I'm seeing the Magician card sitting over here. Like in my mind's eye, the Magician card is sitting here. What you were manifesting before you went through this process. I'm also getting the message that you're worried that your manifestation is related to past. Because perhaps you were manifesting it in the past, so you're associating that here. Thinking that you can only manifest, now that you're in this positive energy, this is the point where I need to manifest. So anything that I was working on in the past, maybe that's going to end up not be, like you want to come back and heal. Like, I don't go back in there. It's really interesting. Okay, I'm going to look on the bottom. Oh dear. Oh Leo. There's a tower. There's a tower moment. And the Strength card. I think the Tower moment's going to be good. I'm not getting anything negative here. And I think it's an association somehow with this manifestation. Because it feels that I'm just seeing it sitting here like you were manifesting something from the past. Something like you went through something. Like this manifestation it didn't come to fruition. It didn't appear, it was not there. And then but between the point of trying to manifest whatever this was for you, you went through a big shift here. And you've done a lot of internal growth. You've done a lot of internal healing. You really looked at things on a deeper level. Not just, understanding everybody's part in a situation. And, really coming to in balance with that. Yeah, I'm really feeling this. I'm really getting this sense here that you feel like anything you've worked on or manifested or associated with from the past is in that energy. So it makes you feel like you want to go back to healing, like you don't want to go towards it. All right, let's get a card for you from the Moonology deck. A message to Leo from the Moonology deck. A message to Leo from the Moonology deck. A message to Leo from the Moonology deck. What did you get? It's time to release negativity. Full moon in Scorpio. Oh, that's so interesting. I really, because I feel like you've done that. Or you're doing that. Like in the future, you will have done that. But see, it is maybe not having faith in the process too. That's a little tiny thing here. But it's part of that habit of being in here, of needing to heal. It seems like it's just an easy way to return. It's just so much easier to go back into here. And it's time to release negativity. So the message that I'm also getting with this is, and this was over here at one point. You were trying to manifest something and you worked through all of this, right? You worked through all of this. And now the manifestation is over here because you are in the energy to accept it. The universe is not going to deliver something to you that is in this energy, right? If you're not in that energy anymore. So if it didn't manifest maybe when you thought it would or when you thought it should, and all this sits between that point to here, to the future, to where it's manifested, I also get the feel like the universe, maybe that wasn't manifested when it was because it was higher vibrational and you weren't there yet. There's that, right? It is a higher vibrational manifestation. And even though you recognized it and wanted it, you weren't there because you had to work through all of this and there. That's more clear, isn't it? That's a little more clear. So that's interesting, isn't it? So there's a heads up for you. If there's something that you really wanted or you were working towards or hoping for yourself and it was in the past and you didn't get it, it didn't happen, and you worked through all of this, the future, it looks like you're getting your manifestation. And don't, if this is resonating, like I don't want to tell anybody to accept a manifestation or accept something new if it doesn't feel right. If it does feel absolutely wrong, then maybe there's still something attached to it from the past. But it feels very much like, well, the universe could not bring it to you because you weren't in vibrational harmony with what that is that you wanted to manifest. So there you go, Leo. That was an interesting reading. Thank you, guys. Until next time, do be gentle with yourselves. Bye.